Okay, today is December 11th, 2016, and right now at 10 p.m. in the foothills we have a temperature of 54 degrees. The relative humidity is 90%. We have a barometer reading of 30.03, and that's dropped. We had high pressure right around 30.15 the last 3 days, so now it's dropping. And then we have a dew point right now of 52 degrees. We had cloudy, overcast skies all day long, and there was a couple of openings in the clouds where I was able to look up, and I could not determine if we had any chemtrail spraying in the skies over Los Angeles today. But the last couple of days, last 3 days, we had chemtrails being sprayed over this jet stream moisture field moving into California, Oregon, and Washington. Right here we have a developing gale right here. This is just north of the islands. We can see a right angle on that, the core of this system. There's actually clockwise rotation right here on the core of this system, and that is from a transmitter. All of this, in fact, the right angle, the clockwise rotation right here in the very core of that, and this blockade is all generated by transmitters. So we've got the jet stream here, which is being blockaded to prevent this moisture from feeding that core. That's blocked. And we have the clockwise rotation right here, which indicates descending air into the core of that system. That will weaken and basically throttle back the development of this gale as it moves towards California. So let's go ahead and look at right now at the SSEC map, and we can see that clockwise rotation right on the core of this system, right down here in the middle and last few frames. We can see this area right here spinning clockwise. It's trying to spin, and we have the right angle right here. And as we'll see in the rainbow map, the frontal system of this there's a gap between this frontal system and the core. And what happens is when the transmitter applies RF power to the core of this, we see that clockwise feature, the spinning, and we see the front detach from the core. So we'll see a gap here in this next map right here. Let's take a look. You see it right there, right where the pen is. There's a channel, and the frontal system has actually been separated from the central core of that developing system. So that's how they break up and weaken these developing storms and stronger storms like hurricane force systems, and also very powerful low pressure systems. So that's how it's done. And also there are a lot of chemtrails being sprayed. We can take a look at that right here in this water vapor map right here. This moisture field has a lot of chemtrail aerosols right through here. And that will break down and evaporate a lot of the moisture as it wraps back around and back into the center of that vortex. Now there is some rain on the Doppler map right over Hawaii. We can take a look at that here in a second. In Southern California, though, there's no rain at all, despite the last 4 days of very heavy cloud cover from this jet stream flow. Here's the rainbow map. We can see all that moisture moving right into California and Oregon, mainly into California. The jet stream map indicates jet stream flow into all three of these states, but mainly it's moving right into California right now. And we can see the effect that transmitters had, that blockade right here. They've engineered a blockade to prevent this jet stream flow getting into the core and re-strengthening, rebuilding that system. So they got this all blocked. You can see that right here. And then we can see the core of this is very disorganized. There's not a whole lot of rotation. Let's look next at the Western U.S. Water vapor map. We can see all that jet stream flow and that right angle right over here in the last few frames. Here's the rainbow map once again. Okay, here's the jet stream. You see the disruption right here where all that transmitter activity is taking place. continuity is all broken up right through here. All right, now here is the Central Pacific water vapor loop, and we can see the Hawaiian Islands and the manipulation on the core of that system right here. Got the clockwise rotation right there. And we can see all the chemtrails right here towards the end of the loop. So there is a forecast for rain on Thursday and Friday. The scripts have been handed out to the local networks, and they are reporting that we may get heavy rain on Thursday and Friday. So that means that the weather controllers may decide to allow rain in Southern California, and that will presumably come from this system here and the tail of moisture that's flowing right into California. So as this approaches California, if they allow it to get close to California, we may get some decent rain out of this. It's just in their hands. They're the people controlling that are running the chemtrail program and running these transmitters have a complete lock on our weather. And we'll see what happens on Thursday and Friday. They're calling for heavy rain at times, but as I mentioned in the past, a flick of a switch, a couple of keystrokes, and we can see a dark area open up right here in just a few hours, and that will redirect all this moisture up and over and out of Southern California. So we've got exceptional drought conditions continuing in Southern California from this manipulation and this transmitter activity and these chemtrails, all that. And this is a very expensive program, the chemtrail program. They're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to equip these jets and to plumb them to dispense these chemical aerosols, the fuel bills, the maintenance bills, the pilots that are flying these jets are being paid a lot of money, and it's all secret stuff. They can't talk about it. But we can see what they're doing. We've observed the specific timing of the aerosol spraying activity, and that coincides exactly with these incoming moisture fields in Southern California where we live. Anytime we have moisture moving in, the jets are up spraying, and that changes the whole picture. We have no rain and much higher than average relative humidity numbers. As I mentioned, right now we have 90% humidity, so we may get some drizzle here before the end of the night, maybe. Got a dew point of 52 degrees. Temperature is 55. I mentioned that, but so far the last 3 days, actually last night it was spitting a little bit out in the backyard, but that didn't last long, maybe 15, 20 minutes. It didn't even get the ground wet. Okay. Saw that. Here's the surface analysis map. We've got a couple of lows. This is that developing gale right over Hawaii, moving east. We've got high pressure installed and parked right off Southern California, as usual. There's a trough indicated right on the coast of California, and one inland, probably over Nevada right here. So there's two troughs, and that's low pressure, by the way. A trough is associated with low pressure, these dotted lines. We have this developing gale right here moving towards California. All right, I've shown this. This is the water vapor map, SSEC. We got the chemtrails right here. A lot of chemtrail spraying. As this stuff wraps around, it'll wind into the core, and it negates it evaporates the water vapor, caps the atmosphere, and we don't get any rain. This will wrap around, and it'll just be a lot of high clouds. That right angle there. Okay, now here's the Doppler map. Rain offshore. Like I've shown this. Let's go out to Hawaii real quick. And they're getting some rain out there. That's good. I know that some of Hawaii's been in a drought, but it's good they're getting some rain last few days and some snow. Okay, here's the pressure maps. We got the sea level pressure map. We can see the high pressure offshore right here at the surface level. We've got a surface low. This is a developing gale. And we have a lot of squiggly lines here. This is transmitters at work. So we have varying degrees of high and low pressure from these transmitters. That's what's happening here. Got a high up here. We've got low pressure up in this area. Right here, I believe it is 1007 millibar. Okay, next is the 500 millibar. We've got high pressure right off Southern California, and we've got high pressure in this area. Got a low up there, right over just off of Canada. And the 300 millibar, we've got low pressure, and we have increasing pressure up here in this area, right around this surface low. So this high pressure is causing the descending air right on top of that developing storm system, which should move in and get some rain into this dry area, bone dry Southern California. All right, so that's what's happening tonight, and we will leave it right here. See that right angle on that system? Right there, you can see the detachment of the frontal system. All right, that's it. We'll do another one tomorrow.